Okay, seems like most of us are here. Just checking in on the chat for any last minute questions or anything like that. Otherwise, welcome. I hope everyone's having a great night. My name is Kelsey Daniels Jackson. I work with Resonant Energy. I am our Environmental Justice Program Manager. And tonight I'll be going over in depth our solar access program and how to decide and know if you're eligible and what the sign up process looks like, and also the background of the program itself. So if you do put any questions in the chat, I probably won't see them till the end or maybe throughout, but I will make sure to answer all questions, and some folks from Resonant will be in the chat answering questions as well. But otherwise, let's go ahead and get started. So as I had said earlier, feel free to share your name, where you're from, and what brings you here with us tonight in the chat. I would love to know how you all found out about our webinar, what piqued your interest about our programming, and sort of how we can help get you more involved in converting to clean energy. So the agenda for tonight is, first, we're going to go over some basics of solar, just Solar 101, what it means to have a system installed and what that looks like, how it generates energy. Then I'll go through a quick background of who Resonant Energy is and our previous work. Then I'll get in depth into our solar access program, discussing what it is, what direct benefits are to residents, and how it works. And then we'll get to the final steps, which are, how do you sign up? How do you figure out if you qualify? So who is Resonant Energy? Resonant Energy is a community-based solar provider that's based out of Fields Corner, and we're committed to helping underinvested communities gain access to clean energy in ways that they usually do not get access to initially. So this is going to be the solar basics slide, just Solar 101. So what you'll see here at the one is the installed solar system. So those are the panels that would be installed on a roof. This is just a standard residential installation. And then the energy that's created from the sun to the panels is then put through an inverter that is attached to the install. The battery isn't relevant to the solar access program, but it's just something that's usually involved in a few other types of systems. And then that goes through your meter. And then if you have any excess, it's sent back to the grid, but that's not the case with the solar access program. All credits that are generated are put directly onto your direct meter, and then the rest is allocated to a mission aligned institution. But I'll get more into detail about what that looks like and what that means later. So next, we'll sort of get into why the program was created, what the need is for the program, and what it looks like as of now. So what in general are the barriers to expanding clean energy? I think this is something I'm sure a lot of you have experienced, and it's something we see in our line of work more often than not with the work that we try to do. So a large issue that we come across is financing. A lot of people don't have the general access to capital to front thousands of dollars for a solar system, and also pay for any sort of roof repairs that may need to be done or any operations and maintenance after the fact. And a lot of that comes from not having good access to credit reports or anything like that. So the solar access program mitigates that barrier. A lot of people are distrusting of conventional solar developers. I know initially before I even started at Resonant, I was, and I have family members that I'm always trying to give them the good word about solar when I can. And a lot of that comes from the spreading of misinformation, and also from a third barrier that we see in expanding clean energy is government agencies not being involved in the neighborhoods that solar could best serve, and not knowing how to make legislation that serves our communities. Also within that, there are physical limitations present within our communities that solar developers see. The style of what are quote unquote urban neighborhoods is not where the traditional solar install was made to go. There's issues in terms of how close buildings are together, roof repairs, electrical wiring crossovers, tree overgrowth, and things such as that. So these are just some of the few of many barriers that we see in expanding clean energy. So next is the solar credit problem. So a large part of the issue in terms of getting clean energy into underinvested neighborhoods is that most homeowners and nonprofits don't qualify for zero down solar contracts, which are usually referred to as PPAs, or solar loans due to a lower credit score. So because of this, more than half of the market that would benefit from solar directly is unable to do so. And there's not a lot of opportunity or programs in leeway of sort of figuring out what to do about that problem. So what is the Solar Access Program? What makes it different? So the Solar Access Program is a solar hosting model that allows any building, regardless of the owner's income or credit score, to host solar panels at no cost in exchange for clean power and energy savings. So how does that work? So the first step is we collaborate within our communities. So some of the folks that we're working with on currently spreading the word about the Solar Access Program is All in Energy, which is an energy efficiency group that works towards offering home energy assessments, making people more in tune with their electrical bills and electrical savings, and how they can weatherize their homes as well. We've also collaborated with the City of Cambridge on low-income installations, as well as working with the City of Boston and Green Roots on the Solarize Eastie campaign, offering our solar access program to residents of East Boston as well. We also work directly and very closely with the Codman Square Neighborhood Development Corporation. They're a great partner of ours. We do a lot of direct work with them and within Codman Square. We also have previously worked with Communities Resisting Extreme Weather, which is CREW, which is hosted by Reverend Walker, and they're working diligently throughout Massachusetts to stop the effects of extreme weather within underinvested communities. And we are also working with HEAT, which is the home energy efficiency team. And what they do is they work towards weatherization tactics for homes and electrical savings as well. So that's just who we're working with in terms of discussing our programming, trying to share it out with as many communities as possible. And hopefully some of these people are someone you know. So the top level highlights of the program is that 20% of the production given to homeowners is put directly on their bills as on-bill credits. So 20%, when you hear it from the beginning, a 20-80 split sounds kind of low. What's the direct benefit of 20%? So that 20% allocates to up to 40 to 50% of savings on your electrical bill. So in that case, we're sizing the system so you get those additional savings, as well as having that 80% that you're able to donate to a mission-aligned institution through a discounted buy-in from the investor. So, and the biggest sell is that there's no credit check or income-related requirements. This is definitely unique to our program. And it's something that, as I discussed previously, is a large barrier to folks getting solar. So, and savings come through your existing bill. There's no additional billing like standard agreements or community solar. It's sort of one and done, and it's all set up to go directly to your bill or whatever bill you choose to allocate the extra credits to. And the easiest of all is that it's easy access to clean energy. So not only is it something that's accessible to you, it brings clean energy within our neighborhoods and creates that intergenerational sustainability that we'd all like to see. And in this photo here is Elnora from SAP Phase 3. She's actually turning on her solar array in this photo, which is really nice. So key benefits to residents. Why are you interested? Why should you get involved? So a large part of it obviously is direct savings. Participating homeowners will see 20 to 40% reduction in their electricity costs through participating in the program. And as I said previously, this is for how the systems are sized, so that 20% of the system that is put up is allocated to directly decrease your electricity bill. So this is a great opportunity for those who may be behind on billing and would like the opportunity to catch up. So this is a great opportunity for those as well. We also offer it's no additional billing. So like I said, no out-of-pocket purchasing or loan repayments, nothing that you have to pay for. And like I said previously as well, intergenerational sustainability. So, and there's also something through seeing these installations within our neighborhoods and knowing that it's something that's accessible for us and teaching that to future generations as well. So this is an example of an electrical bill that has the benefits of the Solar Access Program credits. So as you can see at the top here is just the standard billing. The total cost is $98.42. The credits that are being created by the array equate to $21.72, creating a balance of $76.70. So a pretty fair decrease on a monthly electrical bill, especially in the winter months, as this one represents. So, and the next part of our slide deck is going to go over testimonials from previous participants. So this is Olive from SAP Phase 2. And the reason that she says that she loves solar is because it preserves nature for generations to come. So when in talking about that intergenerational clean energy cycle, it's showing students and young folks and people within our community that this is something we deserve and have access to, and we can't have. So through that, it shows others that they're able to access this opportunity and something that's good for all, not just the few. Our next testimonial is from Agatha, and her testimony is probably one of my favorites because it attests to how consistent solar can make billing. In underinvested communities, something that a lot of people don't have access to is consistency in terms of their billing. Sometimes it's hard to know what you're going to pay every month, what everything's going to look like, and that makes it even harder to budget and harder to keep up. But with solar, your bill is less. It shouldn't go up at all at any point. If anything, it should continue to decrease over time. And if at some point you're not seeing savings from your array or you think something's wrong, there's operations and maintenance to cover that as well. And this is just showing our total impact of the Solar Access Program over the 4 years we've been doing it. So as you can see, it's 250 kilowatts across 30 sites, really impactful and great stuff. And we're looking to expand that within the coming year. So next we'll get into how it works. You decide you like the program. What are the next steps? How do we figure out what works best for you? So why is it free? That's the first question I get, and it's the most valid because nothing in life is free. Why is this? So the way the Solar Access Program works is a third-party solar financer covers the cost of the installation, covers the maintenance and insurance, and then through that, 80% of the power is sold to a mission-aligned nonprofit who buys the power at a slight discount from the solar financer. So we partner with SunWealth, which is our solar financer. So the 80% of the power it's theirs to own, and then they're selling it to a mission-aligned institution at a discount within the community that the array serves. So that could either be, we've previously partnered with Dorchester Bay and they've bought credits, but it could be any sort of nonprofit, an academic nonprofit, a neighborhood development corporation, a youth center, anyone that would benefit and is interested in getting discounted clean energy savings. And with the added 20% that's left over, that's given to the host as revenue for renting their roof. So in turn for giving up your space for this oversized array, you're getting 20% of the credits that's allocated through the array directly onto your bill. No extra bills, no muss, no fuss. So, and this is how the financer makes their investment back, because what do they get out of it, right? They make their investment back through different tax incentives, state incentives, and the selling of that 80% of power that's generated through your array. So this is an infographic as to how it works. So if we start on the left side at the 20%, so this is any sort of residential or hosting install that we'd have through the Solar Access Program. 20% of that energy that's allocated is put directly onto the bills of those hosts. And then the 80% is sent through an anchor institution, which is a nonprofit or any mission-aligned institution. And then those payments, they pay for the electricity, go back to the financiers, then allowing them to continue to provide upfront costs for more installations. And so general expectations, a lot of things that people say are like, oh, my things are too close together. I don't know how you'd get access to my roof. My roof needs to be replaced. I don't know the last time I've gotten any roof repairs, things like that. And while these are things that other solar developers see as a barrier, we see them as an opportunity to invest in locations that are previously underserved by solar. So like I said, difficulty in terms of gaining access to the roof, electrical metering and warranty acquirement, and then roofs more often than not are going to require updates, replacement, and unique installation practices in order to access them. So to each barrier, though, we've come up with a solution, which is really great. So if there's an issue of not having upfront capital, we're able to do the installation at no cost. Unable to secure financing sort of relates to no upfront capital above. There's no credit requirement in order to get approved to be in this program. And if you live in a multifamily home, a lot of folks think that if they're in multi-level units, this isn't something that could be applicable to them. Because of how our program is set up, you're able to allocate where all of the energy is from the array is going to, therefore allowing you to, therefore making you eligible in a triple decker or a multi-unit building. And if your roof is too old or it hasn't been replaced or there's some things that need to be caught up on, we have limited but available access to roof replacement funds for those that would need it. So I tried to keep that pretty brief. I wanted to allow everyone time to ask any questions they have, voice any concerns. I know I can talk a little fast, so feel free to ask me to return back to something. But I'll take a second to look in the chat and answer any questions as I see them. And then we can sort of proceed from there, but feel free to raise your hand or anything. Okay, the first question I'm seeing is how long is the lease? So the lease is 20 to 25 years. You're eligible to buy out at the 10-year point at a deep discount, but within the 20 to 25 years of the lease, the financer is responsible for all operations and maintenance on the solar panels. And I'm seeing a question about if we're working with contractors in remodels and new buildings and neighborhoods. We are, in the sense of like we're working towards doing installations on newer up and coming neighborhoods, but we do focus mainly on affordable housing and mission aligned installs. Okay. Another question I'm seeing is that 20% doesn't seem like much. So that 20% that's allocated directly to you in your billing is 40 to 50% of how much you're paying on your bill. So let's say your standard bill is around, like, I'll just throw out like $90 in the winter months. So if we're saving 40 to 50% of that, that can bring it down to $40 or even lesser, depending on what your system is generating at any given point. So a roof that's 13 years old isn't too old for the program. We do have pre-installation barrier funds that are limited and on a sort of first come, first served basis. So in that would just depend on, depending on when you choose to sign up with the program, we can sort of discuss that on a case-by-case basis, but no roof is too old. And then I'm seeing, does your house need to be facing the sun? So once we sort of get into the proposal process and you've decided that you're comfortable moving forward with the program, we can get started with a site visit. And in that, we'll see what the best direction for your array to face is, but we also do that within the proposals. So we can identify how much your solar array would be generating at any given point throughout the year. But we can also see that in real time once we go on a site visit. Can a resident split the credit among all units in the building? Yes. So this is something that makes the solar access program really unique. On a standard net metering system, you're unable to send credits to different accounts as you choose. But since the solar access program runs on what we call a standalone metering system, you're then able to allocate where you'd like the credits to go. And while I wait for other questions, I'll ask a few that are sort of frequently asked, and if they spark any more conversation, I'm happy to answer that as well. So a big question we get being in New England is what happens when it snows? So the snow melts right off the panels. You don't need to get on the roof. You don't need to clean them off. No need to shovel them. Oh, okay. And I can repeat the answer to the question about the 13-year-old roof. So as I said previously, no roof is too old. We are able to offer limited roof replacement funds if that's something that you think you would be applicable for. But that is determined on a case-by-case basis what we're able to offer, but no roof too old. And we do require, there will be a requirement to inspect the roof before we do any installations, just to make sure it's up to date and it'll last the whole entire 20 to 25-year lease. Okay. And a large question, and there is no financial income limit for the program. We do seek to serve those that are in underinvested communities, so obviously primarily communities of color, but in those within like the Codman Square, Dorchester, Greater Boston area. But there is sort of not a direct financial contribution as to being eligible for the program, which is what makes it a bit unique. And then a large question that we get a lot of the time is, what if you move? So 20 to 25 years is a long time. And it's sort of, it's hard for any of us to sort of think ahead. So when the lease is up, you can choose to keep the panels installed on the roof. You can also choose to take them down. When you move, you sort of just, not sort of, the decision is to be made by the next owner. So if you sell them with the house, that's just a decision of the next owners to make if they decide to keep them or not. But after 10 years of the lease, you're able to buy out the panels at a deep discount. So you could then own them on your own. Okay. So I just got a question about, how do I know if my house is qualified? So we've gone over it in the slides a bit, but essentially to know if you're qualified, do you have a roof that is younger than 10 years or older, but you know you need a replacement and you know how frequently it's been kept up with? Do you have an electrical bill that you could use savings on? Do you have a previous interest in clean energy? The qualifications in like direct terms are fairly loose. We're interested in working with those that have not had access to clean energy prior or have tried to get solar and it just hasn't worked for them, because our programming specifically works to mitigate all of those issues that people face. So if you haven't been able to do solar before because you weren't income qualified or you didn't meet credit requirements, we're able to mitigate that because this is a no cost, no credit, no income check program. And then for those who may need roof replacements, we have limited roof replacement funds and pre-installation barrier funds for those who may have issues of like crossed electrical wiring, tree overgrowth that might be in the way of the panels, things like that. So the best way to figure out if you're qualified overall though, and see what would work best for you, is to schedule some time with me. So we are offering, sorry, just checking in the chat. So we are offering for those who share with me their electric bill and schedule a proposal meeting, a $25 Visa gift card. So if anyone is interested in that, feel free to reach out to me directly. I'll put my information back on the screen as I continue to answer questions. But we do have an added monetary incentive for those who are interested in joining now, since the enrollment phase of this program does end on March 31st. Okay. So I want to just leave the floor open for if anyone else has any additional questions. I can also just sort of go back over some of the slides again about how to get involved, and see if anything else comes up from there. And then I will give you back the rest of your evening. So just to go over the barriers again and how we're able to sort of mitigate those in our solutions. So if you do not have access to upfront capital, you're not able to secure financing because of credit issues, the Solar Access Program is no cost. And it's deeply unique in the fact that there is no income, credit, or any type of check at all. We're doing this solely with financer ability. And through that, we're able to offer the opportunity to buildings such as triple deckers or multi-units that usually or may not traditionally be eligible for solar financing. And especially for those that if you don't have access to capital, you probably don't have the capital to keep up with your roof as much as you'd like, or have access to all the funds you'd like to keep up with things on a year-to-year basis. So that's why we offer limited funds as well. And this is for all residents based within Eversource Northeast. So if you have an Eversource bill and you know you're within the Boston area, you are more than likely eligible for the program. You can, as I said previously, you can share your email. You can share your contact information with me through my email or my phone number, or my links listed here, and schedule time with me directly. But yes, Boston eligible, and sort of branching out otherwise, but I can get into specifics personally. Okay, so I'm hearing no additional questions. Feel free to sound off of the chat if there's something that I went over too fast or you'd like me to go back on, since there is a little bit of time left. Yes, we do work within Somerville. And I'll just keep sort of answering questions as I see them. Okay. So as I said previously, so as I had said previously, the enrollment phase for this next phase of the program ends March 31st. And we are offering a $25 sign-up bonus for those that send me their electric bill and schedule a proposal meeting with me. So in terms of, second, okay. So from evaluation to install, the process takes around a year. The hope by having all of our folks enrolled by March 31st is that install can be started and completed by the end of this year, early beginning of next year. So for those that are interested, once again, I'm just going to put my information on the screen. So my email is Kelsey at Resonant Energy. Here's my phone number listed as well. Feel free to schedule on my Calendly. That puts anything directly on my calendar. You don't even have to ask me if I'm available. So feel free to just book that way. I also am available more often than not after 5 o'clock, after work hours. So I will also be sending a follow-up email to everyone post this meeting, and that will have all my links to schedule with me as well as to contact me. So other than that, I will invite you all to our event next week. Next week, I will also be hosting our Creating Black History, Disrupting the Clean Energy Gap event. This is our Black History Month event. There will be dinner provided, community energy saving resources, There will be another Solar 101 workshop, networking opportunities, raffles for Black-owned business gift cards, as well as music with a great DJ. So if that's something that interests you, feel free to register. I'll be sending the link to RSVP in the follow-up email as well. And those that attended this, as well as attending the event next week, will be automatically entered into a raffle to win $150. So I would love to see you all there. Feel free to sign up. It's free to join. But otherwise, thank you so much for your time, everyone. These are really thoughtful questions. And I'm available at any time if anyone wants to talk in the future. And feel free to share out about the program. And yeah, have a great evening, everyone. Thank you so much.